Hi, welcome to Microsoft SQL tutorials. My name is Amir. This is part 15, working with group by class. In this session, we will learn what is group by class, what is the syntax for the group by class, and we will work on the group by scenarios. First of all, we will see what is group by class. Group by class is used to group rows returned by the select statement into a set of summary rows or groups based on the values of columns or expressions. Let me show you an example. If you see on my screen, I'm having employee details table. Okay, in this example that I'm having the columns as name, gender, salary, city, and department ID. If you see, I'm having Jack as a name, gender, salary, Delhi, and department ID. If you see, I want to group the records based on the department ID. So what I'm going to do, I will use first of all, I will use the select column internally. Okay, it will return the records and it will group by the record based on the department ID. If you see the department ID 10 and 10, the city Delhi, I'm going to fetch as an output over here. Okay, and then it will return as an output. Now we will see the syntax for the group by class. If you see the syntax, select column names, comma, aggregate function expression from table 1 where condition group by column names. What are the group by that what we're having? You need to apply an aggregate function. What are the aggregate functions that we are having? Such as sum, average, minimum, maximum, or count to each group to get the output summary information. We will see some of the scenarios for the group by class. So I have taken some of the scenarios to work on that. Okay, let me show you one by one. So the first scenario is fetch average current salary from employee details table group by department ID. Okay, what I have to do, I want to know what is the average current salary in each every department from the employee details table. Another one, fetch maximum current salary from employees table based on the department ID. So if I am having three or four department IDs, okay, what is the maximum salary in each and every department? Okay, now in the same way, the third scenario, I want to know the minimum salary from each and every department. And also, the fourth scenario, I want to know the salary that I'm paying each and every department, I want to know from the employees table. Okay, these are the four scenarios. Let me copy this. Now, let me switch to Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. I have pasted all the scenarios over here to work on that. If you see on my left hand side, I'm having employee details. This is the table name that what I am having. If you see the column names, you are having employee ID, employee first name, last name, current salary, gender, city, department ID. Now, if you see one by one scenario, so fetch the average current salary from the employee details table group by department ID, correct? So select department underscore ID. So what I have the average, the aggregation that I'm going to use, AVG from current underscore salary from employee details table. Okay. Now what I'm going to use, I'm going to use group by. Group by, what is the group by department ID, right? I'm going to use department. What is the column name? Department underscore ID. Let me explain one again. What are the columns that you are going to use in group by? We have to use the same columns over there in department ID. I'll show you with error. Okay, now let me execute what will happen. So I'm going to select department ID. For the department ID, okay, we are having 10, 20, 30 and null also. For that, what is the average current salary that I'm going to pay according to the group, according to the department. Now let me execute it. Now if you see, I got the department ID null 10, 20, 40. So for each and every department, what is the amount that I'm going to pay? Let me show you that one. So let me execute the select query first, and then we will understand what exactly it is, correct? Now select Only I'm just going to be, department ID underscore ID, comma current salary from employee underscore details table. Correct? Now let me execute both at a time. Now if you see, I am having department ID 10, 20, 30. This is a select department ID column current salary, right? If you see over here, I'm having 12 rows based on the thing, right? So this is the average salary. If you see on the downside that I have grouped by, and it is some total values and it is giving the average of the particular department. Now let me show you the second scenario. Okay, what I'm going to do, select what is the scenario? Fetch the maximum current salary from the employees detail table group by department ID. So select department ID, comma max current salary from employee details table group by department ID. So what is the aggregate function that I'm used? Max. And after that, the maximum current salary that I want to know. Now if you see, I'm going to execute the query. Now from department ID 10 that I'm having max salary of 30, from department ID 20 that I'm having 21, and 40 also from the 21. Okay, this is the maximum salaries that what we are going to get it. Now let me go to the third scenario, the minimum salary from the each and every department that what I have. I'm going to use minimum as an aggregate function. Okay, the minimum aggregate function that I'm going to use on the current salary. So if I want to fetch the minimum current salary from the employees details table group by department ID, these are all the things. From department ID 10, I'm having 12,000, 20, department ID 20, I'm having 17,000, and 40 that I'm having 18,000. Now let me go to the final scenario. What is the sum of the current salary that I'm going to having? Some of the current salaries group by department IDs. For that, I'm going to use aggregate function as sum. Okay, and select department ID, comma sum of current salaries from each and every department. Group by department ID table. Now let me execute that. If you see, I'm having department ID 10, I'm having the sum of the salaries that I'm going to 1.05 lakhs that I'm going to pay, 20 from department 38,000 only, 40, 60,000 that I'm going to pay. So these are all the things that we are going to use, by using group by department ID. So if we see these are all the positive scenarios that what I said. What will happen if I won't use group by ID? I'm just showing the errors for the time being. So for the real-time experience, okay, I'm just going to show you an error. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm not using any group by right now. Okay, what will happen if I'm just going to use select department ID average? See, there we are going to get an error. So what is the error? From the employee department ID is invalid because in the selected list contain aggregate function or group by class. So when I'm going to use department ID comma aggregate function, you need to use group by class. Okay, now I have written group by class. Okay, now I'm going to remove this average. Okay, now let me execute what will happen. See, I don't have any aggregate functions over there. Okay, but what will happen? What are the records that you want to? You're going to fetch it out. But when you're using aggregate and department IDs, you have to use group by class. Okay, now these are, as I said, without any columns, what will happen? Let me assume I'm having current salary. Okay, I want to fetch the current salary. Now, what will happen if I don't return? I will throw once again the error. See, what are the columns that I'm having in department in the columns list, what I want to fetch it out in the same way that I want to be there in the group by class. Now I'm going to make a small change over here. Okay, now let's execute. See, now you can get it based on the group by department ID. Okay, so in this session we learned how to use group by and how to work on the aggregate functions. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day.